Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna. If this is your first time watching this channel, welcome. I hope you stay. Whatever has guided you to this video, it's likely some higher sources. You've been asking for help. You've been asking for guidance. And my hope is, or my intention is, and hope, that whatever comes through me for you will prove to be beneficial. My job is to help you navigate through this process of ascension, which is ultimately to help and guide you to your higher version of yourself, the one that is far less impacted by your own inner limitations. And this is a part 2 of 2-part series, weekly series. Part 1 is where I talk a lot about what's going on, how to navigate through these energies, what you might be experiencing collectively. Pardon me, I've got sniffles. And some pretty important information that will help you. This is part 2. It's a little bit more specific, divided into 3 piles. So whatever pile you are drawn to, my hope is that these piles will give you a little bit more confirmations, affirmations, tools to help you, guidance, if you are open to receiving it. Thank you for being here. I would love for you to subscribe to this channel, click the notification button. It lets you know when I upload new content. Click like if you choose so. It helps me grow this channel. The more I believe, the more people have more access to this important information, the more it helps us all to vibrate higher and ultimately reach a higher level of consciousness as a collective. If you are returning, thank you so much for being here. Without you, I wouldn't do this, and I love what I do. So thank you for helping me be a part of this beautiful experience. If you are wanting to learn more about yourself, to be more empowered, to be less fearful, to understand your shadow self and to transform it into something much more powerful and magnificent, I've developed tools with my team. I channeled tools that will help you do just that. They're free, no cost to you other than your time and your willingness to go through it, work with it. Click on the link below, and you will get instant access to all these amazing tools. One of them is a masterclass on how to connect with your guides and your own inner guidance, which you do have. It's inside of you. If you would like extra information or extra channeled guidance from my team for you, that's only through your inbox, will not be available anywhere else. Either sign up for the tools. If you have already signed up for them, you'll receive these messages weekly in the next few weeks. If you haven't, just click on the tools down below, and just by registering for the tools, you will receive in your inbox these messages on a weekly basis. So without further ado, let's go through each pile and let's see what guidance, universe, source, your team, your guides and angels have for you at this particular time of your life. There is no specific date to it. Whenever you come across this video, it is precisely where you need to hear, or when you need to hear it. So I'm going to use few decks. I'm listing these decks down below. They will help you look at the cards if that's what you choose. Links are down below. All right. Actually, as I'm shuffling these cards, I'm hearing Your purpose is to be, to simply be. So many of you must be asking, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? It is a question that I receive most of the time, I would say. And here's what I will share with you. The sole purpose of you being here is to be. To allow life force flow through you. And by allowing life force through you, you experience your experiences. That is your highest purpose. Now, there are many other reasons why you are here. Your soul wants to accomplish certain things. But there's not just one purpose why you're here. And me saying this hopefully will help you understand that you have so much more than just one purpose. So much more. Biggest of all is experiencing whatever you're here to experience, including you being here in front of me, experiencing this for yourself. And as far as your soul is concerned, as far as the higher consciousness is concerned, there is no such thing as good or bad experience. Now, from the human perspective, yes, that's what we label our experiences as good or bad. But your soul doesn't work that way. Your soul looks at each and every experience, however small, however big, as valuable, incredibly valuable. So I'm hoping that if you're asking your question, what's my purpose? Your purpose is to experience. Now, how you experience, that we can talk about. And how you experience your experiences will be different for each and every one of you. And will depend a lot on who you believe you are or who you think you are. Based on that, based on your thoughts, based on your beliefs, you will experience your life accordingly. Or you will experience your experiences accordingly. And there's a lot of room for negotiation from what I'm hearing in terms of how you experience your life. We can have two people going through the exact same experience, but each person will experience that experience very differently. Is it because the experience is different for each person? No, it's because each person experiences their experience in a different way. And we are collectively shifting in terms of how we choose to experience our experiences. And a lot of the how is rooted in deep knowledge and deep understanding of how the universe works, how energy works. We are all energetic beings. So I'm now focusing on pile number 1. And the first thing I'm being shown is a heart. So this is around your heart chakra, healing your heart, mending your heart. You are in a process of restructuring your life in a way that will allow you to heal your heart. Now, each and every one of us experienced heartache in some way. But for you, pile number 1, this is specifically around your heart chakra. It's about mending broken pieces. Here's what I want to say about the broken pieces. I'm doing this in quotation marks, air quotation marks. You as a soul, as a divine being, as a spark of light, as an extension of consciousness itself, are not broken. Hear me, you are not broken. You may feel broken, but you are not broken. Yet feeling broken is part of your experience. So please understand, just because you feel broken, to use that analogy, does not make you a broken person. Doesn't matter what you have been told, doesn't matter what you think about yourself, doesn't matter what you perceive about yourself in terms of your brokenness. You are not broken. You can't be. You can't be. As a soul, you exist, and you are part of all that is. You lack no thing. What may be lacking in your life is a certain perception within yourself that prevents you from experiencing abundance, for example. Love, for example. Because pile number 1, you seem to be focused on healing your heart. And I just keep hearing mending pieces, mending broken pieces. You are likely in a process of trying to figure out how to tie things together. That's what I'm feeling. That's the image that I'm being given. How to incorporate certain pieces. How to integrate. Thank you. So you are in a process of integration. And the process of integration, as I'm being asked to explain, is essentially you coming home to yourself. And the broken pieces we talk about is purely your ego. I'm hearing the word counseling. Some of you may be inclined to seek a wise counsel. How do I manage the way I feel about myself? How do I manage my brokenness? Again, you are not broken as a soul. You may feel that way. Your heart may have been broken, yes, of course. Probably more ways than one. But as a soul, beyond your feelings of being broken or feeling broken, you are not broken. You are whole. And the process of integration is you embodying your wholeness. What does it mean to embody your wholeness? It means you lack nothing. That may not be your perception, which is a human thing. But your current perception is literally borrowed for now. You borrowed it from your mom, from your dad, from your neighbor, from your teachers, from whatever. Probably even isn't yours. Yet it affects you. So at this point, you are choosing to look within yourself right now, very likely, in order to distinguish what is real and what isn't real for me. What understandings of myself do I choose to keep on embodying? And what am I willing to let go of in terms of your quote-unquote brokenness? And this is specifically with your heart. And some of you are probably going through a process of a breakup. And this process feels oddly familiar. You've been there before. It's like a bad dream. It's like a bad trip. Nothing funny about it, by the way. And you are in a process of rethinking your life. Thank you. You are in a process of rebranding yourself. So if you are to rebrand yourself, let's use that analogy, or you are in a process of picking a different outfit as far as your identity, You must first understand how you brand yourself now. In other words, who are you in terms of your own understanding of yourself? I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and that. But there's more to you than that. You are more than your brand. Let's using that analogy. Okay. So here's some circumstances you are likely going through right now. You are going through some changes in your life. Now these changes represent your physicality. There's likely some reshuffling going on in your life, and you are in a space where you are needing to choose and sometimes feeling like you are forced to choose. And here's an interesting conundrum. Well, if you're being forced, is it really a choice? Depends how you look at it. The choice may not be, how do I say this? The choice may not be, your choice may not be the physical choice. Your choice may be how you connect with the choices you are being presented with. You're being asked to choose. Okay? For some of you, this will impact you financially. For others of you, it will impact your relationships. Yet for others of you, there is a move, a change in terms of moving from where you are right now to a place somewhere different. Because it's physicality, this is likely a physical move, a job change, a relationship change, a status change, employment change. And may not be the easiest change. However, this change is required. Okay? So you might be experiencing some, let's call it difficulty right now, pertaining to which choice do I make? What are my choices? Do I have choices? It may even feel like you don't have choices. And they're saying it all depends how you choose to look at your lack of choices. Okay, interesting. And sometimes the words I say are meant to not be interpreted by me. They're meant to be heard by you and seeing how they land with you. Remember, pile number 1 is about mending broken pieces. And there is fantastic change going on for you right now, pile number 1. And you might be saying to me, easier for you to say. Yes, it all depends on your situation, of course. It might not be the easiest thing that you're doing right now, though that is happening with you right now, but it's happening nonetheless. And you are being asked to make wise choices. Not the type of choices that you make based on hastiness or fear, but the types of choices that are made from a higher perspective. Thank you. Whoever you are leaving a place, a situation, a person. And it looks like for most of you, this is a decision or choice that you are making. You are making a conscious choice to leave something behind. Now, the situation may have been that your choices have been mitigated by outside circumstances, but you are at the end of the day the one making these choices. And for some of you, these are not easy choices because you're leaving something behind, something that was once stable. And I'm asking, are they leaving because it's not stable. And here's what I hear. What they're looking for is a different type of stability. So your current stability that you are leaving, or what has been once deemed to you as stable, is undergoing an upgrade. And you are in the process of moving into another version of stable. And for many of you, this will be impacting your finances. How you live, where you live, how you earn a living. And for some of you, I'm not sure this is going to come across or how this is going to come across, but you're remaining where you are, but you're choosing to do things differently. So there's not a physical move of location. You're remaining where you are, but your focus is changing. So you might be in a job, for example, where you remain where you are, but somehow your focus is changing. How you do things are changing. You may be in a relationship right now and your focus is changing. Something about your internal dialogue is changing right now. And this internal dialogue will allow you to create new experiences for yourself. Ones that are worthy of your time. Ones that are worthy of your time. So perhaps where you have been for a while, it's no longer worth it to you. Perhaps it felt solid, but somehow you've outlived its purpose. You're ready to move on. And I'm seeing a boiling kettle reaching the temperature of boiling. It's like the energy is hot, ready for you to make this move. Okay? For some of you, this is I want to say, how do I say this, please? The energy that is fueling this move for you is much more creative. It's like your internal juices are flowing. It's the risks that you're taking are creatively based, not necessarily logically based. Which is interesting, to say the least. Because if that's the case, for some of you, you may be met with disagreements from other people where they don't understand why you're making these seemingly foolish choices. And what I'm hearing is their ideas are theirs to contend with, not for you to contend with. Now, there's nothing wrong with asking for guidance, with asking for some reassurance, with helping you navigate through your waters, but at the end of the day, the decision belongs solely to you. Okay? You are your own boss from now on. Now, this may literally indicate that you are becoming your own boss, as in financial situation, or you are becoming more in charge of your own life, where you are committing more to yourself, more to your inner wisdom, more to your inner guidance, and you are proving yourself correct. By following your inner guidance, you are proving yourself correct. And then I hear you say, it works, it works. When I listen, it works. So that's what's happening for pile number one. I want to pull another card for you. You're not too late. And you are not going to run out of time. For some of you, you're looking at the clock. You're being, what's the word? You're either being limited by time, or you are limiting yourself by time. Now, do you know the famous saying, time really doesn't exist? It's a human-made tool to help us navigate in this 3D experience. You have plenty of time. Whatever this is, don't let time dictate your choices. And then I hear, what if it takes too long? Too long for what? What if it takes too long for me to be successful? Now, perhaps what you need to do is redefine your success. Perhaps a better alternative would be for you to consider yourself successful already by saying, I am a success. I am a success, and believe it. And before you know it, you will see the evidence of that in your 3D life. Because if you are chasing success, it means you don't have it, right? And if you don't have it, you are in lack of it. And it is a lot more fruitful, I want to use that analogy, to embody the feeling of success and then allow that feeling, that vibration, that energy to draw the 3D equivalent of success to you. Whether it's money, relationships, health, whatever it may be. Okay? And this is something I believe we should all do. Should. There is no shoulds when, as far as the universe is concerned, but you understand. Golden Palace. And by the way, 2, 3 is another 5. Literally, this message says you are redefining your safety. You are rewriting your story, recreating a new story, and this new version of your story has a different ending than the one you're used to, in a positive way. Okay, but you are redefining your sense of safety. What does safety mean to me? What does safety mean to me? Safety means many things to many people. But safety is really internal. It's derived from within. Yes, it is mitigated by the outside. Yes, it's helpful. But the feeling of safety comes within. Yes? And by mending the broken pieces, by healing your heart, you are redefining your sense of safety, your own inner safety. And I feel for some of you, you have not felt this safety, particularly in relationships. And if you haven't, then perhaps it's because you don't trust yourself. There's a part of you don't trust. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to make the right decisions, the right choices. And or you are at odds with yourself. You are not in alignment with yourself. The one that is unlimited. Now, why would you be not in alignment with a part of you that's unlimited? Many reasons, but what comes to me is by denying that you are that. It's a sense of denial of the true nature of who you are, which is an unlimited being. Okay? Now remember, this is to help you navigate through the process of ascension. And ascension really means to embody the higher frequencies, which are naturally part of you when you are in disembodied state. But you absolutely can and are in a process of embodying more of these higher frequencies while you are in a physical body or occupying a physical body. Not only can you, yes, you will. Just trust it. Okay? I'm just seeing choices for you, making choices or decisions with reference to redefining your own safety, your inner safety. What does safety mean to you? How do you derive safety? And I see you becoming more reliant on your own inner resources rather than being overly externally reliant or relying too much on outside resources. In other words, you are learning how to trust yourself. You are learning how to trust being your own boss in whatever way that speaks to you. To me, it's first and foremost becoming more in charge of your own life. Secondly, in a physical sense, you are trusting yourself to be your own boss, literally speaking. Okay? You're also learning how not to hold back. When we hold back, it is always because the holding back is rooted in some sort of lack frequency. And in the first part of this video, link is below, I talk a lot about that and how to navigate through it and what it really means and how to shift that frequency. We're all in a process of shifting it anyway. Okay? So pile number one, you are definitely mending your heart, healing your heart. And your heart is about giving and receiving, right? The more we heal the heart, the more we are in a position to receive. And the universe always wants to give to you the highest possible frequency that you will accept. So if you have any feeling of unworthiness and you are wanting to create something that's of the opposite vibration, you will not be in a position to accept it unless you deal with the unworthiness piece. Remember, there is nothing in you that's lacking. Not according to your human awareness, but you are more than that. Okay? I see money around you. Slowly but surely, I see money around you, and I see you not holding back as much with regards to money. Perhaps you hoard money, perhaps you hold back because you're afraid there isn't more. Again, that is a perception. That's a fear. It's a fear-based thinking, fear-based belief. Okay? That is what I have for you, pile number one. Now, let's look at pile number two. You are very much in your head right now. Oh boy, as a matter of fact, I'm getting a bit of a headache. What's causing you a headache these days? And I just heard things are complicated. There's a lot going on in your head right now. Your mind is really busy. One of the things I talked about in the first part of the video is ways to help us manage this erratic frequency. And one of the things that was mentioned is sound bath, or using sound to smooth out the edges of our frequency that is a little bit jagged right now. Okay. You need a lot more rest than what you are getting, pile number 2. And I mean a lot more. Perhaps you're running yourself ragged. You're running yourself amok. You are running on empty. Now, you wouldn't expect your car to run on empty without gas, would you? You wouldn't, right? Very logical. Okay. You know that when the gas goes down and it shows empty, you better fuel up or you're going to stop. The car is, you're not going to plead with the car, oh, please go further, please go, please, please, please. No, the car is like, sorry, babe, I've got no gas, can't go. You need proper fuel. Rest, proper food, not getting yourself hopped up on caffeine and other alternatives that artificially inflate your energy, because then you're going to crash. You are going to burn out your adrenal system. In fact, some of you may be in that space right now. You are experiencing a lot of adrenal fatigue. I'm being shown the vitamin B5, so I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. Research. It's called pantheonic acid, I think it's called. Don't quote me on that. Some of you may need that in order to help you cope. Vitamin B complex, it helps with stress. It helps coping with stress. If this speaks to you, pile number 2, my concern is that you're gonna get sick. Okay? You're gonna likely catch a little cold that normally wouldn't be a big deal, but because you are so run down and your body is at its max, it's depleted, a little cold is going to put you down or on your back, and you're going to be down and out. You don't want to get yourself to that. Okay? There's a real focus on needing to take better care of yourself. You might be someone who is frequently experiencing headaches, likely due to a lot of pressure you either put on yourself or is being put on you. Not always easy to navigate through. Sometimes we cannot get rid of pressures, but we can help ourselves to cope with these pressures, to cope with the demands of life. And I see that whoever you are very demanding on your body. You are literally running ragged, like you're running on empty. So this is a bit of a warning, I would say, for those of you who artificially pump energy through caffeine or some other sources that is frying your adrenals. Okay? So if this is connecting with you, if this is resonating with you, please take care of yourself. We are dealing with intense energies as it is. A lot of it is required for us to accommodate these energies. Our bodies need time to adjust to these energies, so that in itself takes a toll on our bodies. And by not taking care of yourself, you're not helping it. You're not helping yourself. Okay? You actually are creating more stress. Potentially for yourself and others around you, because then they have to deal with you being down. Okay? But there is something new on the horizon for you. You are in a process of collecting your thoughts. And perhaps part of the collecting your thoughts is the understanding that unless I take better care of myself, how can I expect life to take care of me? In other words, if you communicate to the universe that you don't need taking care of, the universe is going to say, okay, well, I guess they don't need taking care of. Okay. The universe doesn't listen to your pleads. It listens to your vibration. It responds to your vibration. I just heard, I don't have time for anything. How could you not have time for anything? And that's not a judgment, by the way. You literally may be so busy, you may have no time. So we need to, if that is the case, we need to take a look at your busyness. What is it in your life that makes you so busy that you have no time for anything, especially for taking care of yourself? And here's another thought. Why is busyness so important to you? It may sound odd to some of you to hear this, but maybe you're addicted to busyness. That's a thing. It's a real thing. There is such thing as an addiction to busyness. Why? For those who are addicted to being busy, it fulfills a certain need. Perhaps it's a need to be needed. Is that you? What's behind the need to be needed? Well, if you are needed, people are not likely to leave you. People are likely to stick around. You are likely to not be alone. So that's going to be not for all of you, but it's going to be for some of you. Okay? Some of you have a need for being needed. And it is rooted in a foundation of lack, your internal lack. Okay? For some of you, it likely stems from the mom. Perhaps your mom or a mother you observed was someone who dedicated her entire existence to everyone, and she didn't take care of herself. And perhaps you watching this adopted the same idea, as would be very normal to do. But you are now moving to different energies. You are perhaps being reminded that that's the old way. That's the old way of thinking. And part of the ascension process is looking at our fear-based conditioning. Perhaps you have this erroneous belief that unless you do something, nothing is going to happen. If that's your belief, I bet you anything you're going to prove yourself correct every single time. And that belief comes from somewhere. It's rooted in somewhere. It has a root. Okay? But you are in a new beginning. You are in a new cycle of understanding yourself, a new energy flow. And likely, because of this, some things are going to crumble down. And I don't mean this in a negative way. In order to move into something new, oftentimes the old has to crumble down. Pieces have to crumble down. Okay? So it's not necessarily a tower moment, but a little bit like that. And I feel like for pile number 2, this is time for you to look at your commitments. The type of commitments you have to yourself and to others. And then ask yourself, which commitments are true to me? Which one of my commitments are true to me? I feel like I want to describe more what that means. What is true to you? First, you have to look at your commitment to yourself. What is your commitment to yourself? Or in other words, what is your relationship to yourself? If you are running on empty, if you are artificially trying to energize yourself and you have no time for anything, you're too busy for you, then your relationship with you sucks. I'm sorry to say. And I'm sure you have your reasons, and I'm sure they're very valid reasons. And what I'm hearing is, if you can't support your body is not going to be able to support you. Pile number 2, I feel you are exhausted. And you need some downtime. You need a lot more water, liquids, and I don't mean the alcoholic types. You need to take better care of yourself. Okay, so this beginning perhaps is a new beginning in terms of how do you take care of yourself? How do you fuel yourself? How do you recognize yourself to you? How do you see yourself? Not how others see you. How do you see yourself? Because really how others see you is really unimportant unless how others see you is how you see you. But in order for that to happen, you have to agree how others see you. Okay? There's a new level of understanding you are having with yourself, or there's a potential to a completely new level, or a heightened level of understanding you have about yourself. What is important to you? What do you qualify as important now versus before? And your beliefs are changing. Your ideologies are changing. You are coming out of hiding, whatever that means to you. I'm going to pull another card. Show me pile number 2. I'm actually feeling a lot of resistance with pile number 2. Like I'm resisting. There's a lot of resistance. Why is there resistance? Let's face it, when we're used to doing things a certain way, adopting a new way can temporarily feel very difficult because you're going against what is natural to you. Do you have resistance to taking better care of yourself? Why, if that's the case, why? Why would you resist? Why would there be resistance to taking care of yourself? Examine that. If that's for you, if that makes sense, what's the resistance about? Are you fearful you will be labeled as selfish? Okay. If that's the case, you got to look at that fear. Where is that coming from? Where is this belief coming from? Who does it belong to? Is it yours? Chances are it's not yours. It's somebody else's. Somebody one day said, well, if you look after yourself too much, then you're selfish. Well, here's newsflash for you. If you don't look after yourself, who will? Who's going to look after you? Who's going to look after you? Other people can, but at the end of the day, that is your responsibility. You know, you heard the saying, you can only lead the horse to water. You cannot make the horse drink the water. It's a little bit like that. So there's some internal fears and inner conflicts that you are facing in terms of your own value. Okay? If you're having some challenges with regards to your own worthiness, value, your own assessment of your value in terms of it being low somehow, this is something you probably want to look at, okay? Heck, you might be so busy because you are trying to prove your value through your busyness. That is a never-ending battle. And battle it is. It's an internal battle. Okay? It's all about taking care of yourself, pile number 2. It's like, wow. And there's quite a bit of resistance to it. Perhaps if you take care of yourself, you feel you will not be as needed. And that creates a certain anxiety in you. So if this is you, if there is a fear of you not being needed, what's underneath that? It's all value related. Okay, it's all value connected. There's too many cards here, but I'm going to take... So, this is a really opportune time to learn about yourself. You're getting an education upgrade, if you will. Now, that may be true that for some of you, you actually are going to school. You're signing up, taking some courses. You're bettering yourself in some way. And this bettering yourself is going to afford you new opportunities, yes. But for most of you, the higher message is, this is life type education, life experience type education, knowledge, higher knowledge, okay? There's new birth happening with you on many levels, or potential, okay? And this is the type of education or knowledge gathering that can only happen with yourself, for yourself. No one can give you this knowledge. I mean, yes, people can share things with you. You can hear things, certainly through this video. Maybe you can pick up some things. But at the end of the day, there is this inner knowledge that's wanting to be engaged in. It's about knowing yourself, really. It's about knowing yourself. If you've been feeling blue for quite a while, I feel like you are in a brink of moving past it. You're not there yet. And I hear next spring, you're going to feel like a completely different person. So I'm recording this at the end of May. A year from now, you're going to feel like a different person. Okay? The sacred pool is all about how you see yourself. Your reflection of yourself. You have a lot of negative perceptions about yourself. Things like, I wish I was like this, or I wish I was like somebody else. I wish I had this. I wish I was like that. I wish. If you're constantly wishing to be like somebody else, then you are in total non-acceptance of who you are in this moment. And that is a massive internal conflict. It's essentially inner war. And I always say there's relatively little peace when there is war going on, right? I just heard, stop looking at the magazines. Perhaps you look at magazines and compare yourself to others. I don't know who you are. This is not for all of you. But that does not do you any good. The things you see in the magazines are, I'm sure you know already, but they're not real. They're enhanced. They're masked. They're airbrushed. They're manipulated. If you compare yourself to whatever you see in the magazines, I want to say you have no hope in hell. So I don't know how this connects with you. Take it for what it is and just kind of think about it. Okay? Magazines. That is it for pile number 2. Now, let's look at pile number 3. Pile number 3, I'm being asked to share with you to eat more organic foods. So it's a little bit piggybacking on pile number 2, but it's different. It is, your body is expanding in its vibration. And it's important that you feed it accordingly. Now, of course, generally speaking, these days, organic food is more expensive, which is, if you really think about it, it's ridiculous that something more natural would be more expensive. Like, it makes no sense. But I guess it's because it's not mass produced. We don't have to get into that, I'm sure. Anyway, let's leave that aside. Eat more organic if you can, as best as you can within your means. Especially things like fruit, vegetables. If you eat meat, try your best to eat as much unprocessed and naturally grown food as you can, okay? In healthy soil. Organic, natural, you get the picture, okay? Your body's adjusting to these new higher frequencies. You may be experiencing a lot of aches and pains. In fact, a lot of headaches. Make sure you drink plenty of water with lemon. This is also symbolic for me for vitamin C, making sure that your vitamins, if you're not getting it from food, then at least from supplements. Don't overdo it though, okay? Because there is such a thing as overdoing with supplements as well. You are growing into a new person. And I love how this feels. I feel elongated. I feel leaner. So you are also, whoever you are, in a process of shedding some weight. This is not just physical weight as in pounds or kilograms, depending on where you're from, or stones. This is about shedding your emotional weight. You no longer have this regard for yourself. You are learning how to love yourself. Yes. You are in the process of learning how to love yourself. And it literally feels like you're occupying a different body. It feels enormous to me in a beautiful way. It feels light. It feels unencumbered. It feels unrestricted. It feels free-flowing. Whoever you are, pile 3, it is evident to me that you have been doing your work. Because you don't get to this space by not doing work, by not doing shadow work, by not looking at your inner conflicts, inner fears. You don't get to that space, because the space that I'm feeling when I'm in your energy, the low frequency that we are used to, it's relatively low. It's relatively low, which means you've been there at some point. But you've risen above it. You probably listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of lectures. I don't know why I'm hearing cry on. You might be someone who listens to cry on. For some of you, you are listening to higher frequency transmissions. You are in this you are full on in this ascension process. It is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's full on you. If this doesn't make sense to you, then you're not there yet, or it's just not your pile. But if you chose this pile, there is something in it for you. Okay? You're also not as aimless as you used to be. So you used to feel aimless, not having an aim, perhaps not having a purpose, not having a vision. You're not that anymore. Or if you are a little bit, you're far less than what you used to be. This is interesting. You're feeling superior about yourself, but not from the perspective of being better than everybody else. No. It's from a higher perspective. Like you're embodying your ascension value. Your ascension. You're embodying your higher frequency. You're embodying your inherent value, which means only one thing. You are recognizing the truth of who you are. And for some of you, you might have been born having that awareness, but that's going to be relatively few people. You have worked at it, and it's taken some time for you to be in this space, to be where you are. Congratulations to you, because it is not an easy task. As I talked about in the first video, it takes a lot of courage to be vibing where you are right now. For one, you probably have gone through a period of time, and probably maybe even are right now, going through a period of time where some people don't understand you. They're looking at you like you're a lunatic, you're crazy, like you're living in some other world. Well, in fact, you are. You are vibing on a very different frequency. And many people may not resonate with you, and that's fine, because you will be attracting and are in the process of attracting those who do resonate with you, those who are vibing with you. I see a lot of light clothing, not just color-wise, but texture-wise. It's just you feel very free-flowing to me, and that is beautiful. Chances are you are likely into medicine, plant medicine, medicinal plants in various ways, whatever that means to you. You are likely interested in some form of shamanism or healing, natural healing, or things like that. I want to say this to you. You're well on your way, and it's not by accident. You're well on your way, and it's not by accident. Look at this. Positive movement forward. You're well on your way. Now, this is speaking of your physical life, your 3D experience. Positive movement forward. You are moving to bigger and brighter places. This will often also have a financial impact for you. For some of you, substantial financial impact. And I want to say money in the bank. You are recalibrating yourself in terms of the way you magnetize experiences into yourself, into your life. You are becoming very magnetic. Being around you is a pleasure. You might notice that people want to be around you. You don't even have to say very much, to just like being around you. They like being around your energy. Oftentimes, this is, how do I say, okay, I just heard a tantric healer. I don't know what a tantric healer is. I kind of know what tantra is. I know what healer is. Tantric healer. See if that makes sense to you. Okay, maybe you're a tantric healer. But when people want to be around you like that, there's often an indication that you're meant to draw people towards you. You're meant to help them expand their own frequency in your own unique ways, through your own unique healing abilities. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to mean that you are a healer per se, but your energy is very soothing. It's very healing. People want to be around you. Animals are drawn to you. You have a healing touch. You have a healing touch. Perhaps this movement for some of you is that you are moving to experiencing your life as a healer, and this will financially impact you in positive ways. Okay? Remember, it's giving and receiving. If we just give, and we're not receiving, we're not, what's the word, please? We're not respecting the law of nature, which is giving and receiving, reciprocal, okay? When we give, we have to also receive. That's how we fuel ourselves back, okay? Although, if this is you, I don't feel you have any qualms about getting paid for the work that you do. You might have at some other time. In the past, I used to hear, and this is still common in some circles, that if you have healing abilities, then you should not be paid. It's like, well, what's the difference? If you pay a lawyer for a service, why do you not pay a healer for a service? It's the same thing. Requires energy. It requires them to learn to do many things in order to do what they do. No difference. But some people have this skewed perception, and that's fine. That's fine. That's not you. And I'm glad it's not you. Beautiful. Even the music that's playing right now is just calming and peaceful. And you are likely someone who lives around water. I'm being drawn to water, ocean, river, lake. I see ocean first and foremost. Perhaps you live in California. Perhaps you live somewhere, a place like California. You might be from outside of the United States. Saint Fernando Valley, is that in California? I'm not from the States, so I don't know, but is that in California or is that in Arizona? Anyway, Saint Fernando Valley. If this makes any sense to you, let me know. Okay. Perhaps some of you want to move there or in that area. Okay. Protecting treasure. Okay. Number 39, which makes 12, which comes to a 3. It was shown to me in reverse, so I'm going to just tune into this message. I want to say this to you. The universe is looking after you. I think in the past, for some of you, you did not have perhaps trust that the universe would look after you. But I feel this is in the past. It's no longer the case for you, but it's still somehow present in your mindset. It may not be in the driver's seat, but it's still somehow present. Watch out for these moments where you go back to doubt. And if you've been there before, you know exactly what it feels like. Just watch when that happens. Because you may temporarily go to a negative place just to realize, oh crap, I'm in a negative place, and you feel it. And then get yourself out of there. Here's what I want to say. It is almost impossible to feel 100% positive 100% of the time. That's not how life works. We are here to experience many feelings and emotions. The trick is, how do we get back to higher frequencies and not stay in the lower frequencies? I feel like you are learning how to get back to higher frequencies even when you temporarily go back to your lack. Okay? And in the past, there might have been a constant battle, but now you are much more in tune when it happens. It's like, okay, I see what's happening. It's the old way coming on board. There's this little fear coming up in me, and I'm just going to connect to the fear, and I'm going to tell this little girl or this little boy, I've got you. I've got you. The universe has our back. Okay? Boon collector. This is another new beginning. Okay? This is a healer. Okay? This lady, she's a healer. She has a lot of knowledge. She has collected many, many, many tools throughout her journey, and she's now in a position to offer it to others. Some of you are resisting this. Why? If this is you, if you feel the internal calling to offer your services as a healer, and you are resisting it, ask the question why. Perhaps you are in this space right now, lack, and you are somehow having a moment of doubt. Look at this image. This lady is fully supported. Her head is encircled by white light. She knows what she's doing. She is very aware and very grounded at the same time. She's very protected. Universe has her back. She can see through people, though she may not always say it. You are likely that person. But for some reason, you are resisting that. Okay? So that's something for you to think about. Okay? This is what I have for you. Pile number 3. Beautiful, beautiful pile. Messages. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. Remember, if you would like the transformational tools, free, link is down below. The first part of this video, link is down below. Let me know how these messages connect with you down below in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.